Stevie D is playing his first match in the tournament here.
And that could be a factor, of course. You know, Jaden, very tough match against Carl Morris with all sorts going on, and obviously came over the line in fine style in the end. But he's up and running today. He's had about hour and a half off, and now he's back to work again. And Stevie's going to have to go and kind of find it.
Actually, very impressed at how Jaden held himself together, given all the fun and games that was going on. That's the sort of thing that can rattle far more experienced players than young Jaden Billingham. I mean, it rattled you.
I was enjoying it. I was having a match off commentary, so I was over there kind of watching it all unfold. If for those wondering what we're talking about, Carl Morris wanted to play a masse shot, and the light was in the way. He refused to play his shot, and this went on for some time. Jaden just didn't react, really. It was excellent from the young man.
Important to mention, though, that the conclusion to that story, which is Carl borrowed a three-quarter cue from someone in the crowd, made said masse shot, made another mad double, and made the finish, which is just about the most Carl Morris thing you could possibly imagine. I'm really interested to see what Jaden's going to do with these yellows, because these are not easy at all.
Yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on the situation. I walked away before he played the shot. Once it had been resolved, I did not watch the actual shots themselves.
You missed a trick.
There was very much a cup of coffee with my name calling.
I wonder if Jaden was actually trying to land on the top cushion.
I think he was, because if he gets on the top cushion, he can play one to flick the other out. If he gets, if he's got a thin angle, I mean, even if he can see it at any angle, then he can make that work, but not from here. So immediately in trouble here in the opening frame.
And he obviously believes he can get back there. And he's digging deep here.
He's landed okay. That flick, I mean, I know it's not the 8-ball safe, but that flick at least allows him to continue to dig here.
Yeah, it could have come out worse, that's for sure. 8-ball is now a tricky ball, but he's, with the balls that he's got left, he's almost guaranteed position on it. When I say position, I mean sight of it down the rail. It's not exactly what you'd call position maybe in its truest sense, but he'll have a shot if he can get there.
I think this is him saying he doesn't want to take it on, I think.
Oh, he's going for that.
Do you think? Or I suppose he could. Do you think he could play yellow off yellow?
Yeah,
then?
I think so. That was full-blooded.
I mean,
because if you look where he's landed the cue ball, I'm almost certain he can play the yellow on the right side thin off the yellow, makes it top right, and plays the yellow on the other side.
He played up to get the angle similar to what he actually had previously in the visit, and obviously maybe he just felt it was a little bit too full-blooded. I don't know. It's a strange sort of change of mind, I think.
Well, I think he was trying to get the angle, but he was originally looking at it from the top left corner. And all of a sudden, when you got that same angle from essentially the middle of the baulk line, that yellow is accessible when actually it's a bit of a problem ball in and of itself. So he almost feels like, oh, I almost have to take this on. That's a clever shot from Stevie Dempsey.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of that from Stevie. Very, very clever player. That's what took him all the way to the number 2.
And let's not forget our most recent Pro Series champion. He won event 10 at the last.
It's amazing how easy it is. I mean, it feels a lifetime ago. It's amazing, really.
Yeah, our most recent Pro Series champion, event 10 winner, Stevie Dempsey, in a final that, if you saw it, you won't forget it. I think that's exactly what you mean where you say it feels like a lifetime ago, because you remember exactly what happened.
I do know what happened,
that dramatic match against Arfan Dad.
Unfortunately, the match will be remembered more for Arfan Dad than it will be for Stevie Dempsey, and Stevie won it. That's the reality. Arfan potting the winning 8-ball and going in off.
In the most ridiculous fashion you've ever seen. It was brutal. Stevie again looking lost a turn. He's not, or he might just have enough of the snooker to feel okay about it. Just got a little kiss off the red there, that helped.
He'll be okay with this. Jaden will play the yellow and it will come away from the pocket. Stevie's in control. Going to be another loss of turn coming up now for Stevie. He's just slowly picking the frame apart.
The only risk is if he leaves any side of this 8 ball, even if it's thin, it's pretty easy to get it riding around the table.
I don't think the cue ball's not going to be moving, so it's really... That's interesting. That's interesting. Deciding to pull the cue ball further back down the table. If he just holds the cue ball right on the break line where it hits the cushion, you can't see the 8 ball there. I suppose does he feel he leaves a 2-cushion kick shot where he can really get into it with pace? Possibly. It looks like the red on the bottom of the table would be in the way, but it might not have been. And he has left half an edge here.
Oh, Jaden Billingham, you beauty! The bullet with a rocket in frame 1. That is special. Wow!
That's incredible. What a shot that is. Bottom cushion, rakes of side, getting pace into it. Brilliant shot from the young man.
And walks away without even looking back, like nothing happened. He is ice cold. Some talent is Jaden Billingham. That is an unbelievable shot to pull out. Wow. Well, there are a few players with a better mentality, I would say, than that man right there. But it doesn't stop it hurting. He's just very, very good at getting over it and compartmentalising it. Stevie will still absolutely feel that he played the right shot there. And sometimes that's the risk that you take when you play that shot, is that your opponent can, when they're as good as Jaden Billingham, find a savage way out. But Stevie's been rewarded here. It's a poor break off from Jaden, really. Straight into the middle pocket. His expression tells you everything you need to know about that.
Yeah, from Stevie's perspective, the fact that it's opening frame, the fact that there's loads of time left in the match and loads of match left in it, you can kind of put it, if that happens at 5-5, it's a different story. But from Stevie's perspective, he tried to limit the chances of what Jaden could do, but ultimately Jaden just came up with that big shot. And that happens.
This is a very cute little out for Stevie to take on. He's picked them apart beautifully so far. Looked really difficult, I think, congested when he came to the table, but starting to look a little clearer now. Needs that to just fall in. It's going to hang. It's going to hang. It was definitely on the way. Oh, yeah, Trish Murphy's just made a little mistake there. That will be corrected in just a second. So that's where the cue ball needs to be. And Trish, in seeing that ball hang in the pocket, has just automatically just gone to default mode and said, oh, it's not touched the cushion. Of course, the cue ball went straight into the cushion. She's one of the best in the business, Trish. Mistakes happen. She'll be quick.
Yeah.
She'll be quick to correct it. It's an easy fix, at least.
She'll be mortified watching this back. She really will be. But it's the thing with good referees, great referees, is if there is an error, they're very calm and collected in putting it right and making it right, and that's what will happen here. It will all be sorted, no problem whatsoever. But
yeah, you see Stevie shaking his head there. That's not because of Trish's mistakes, because it is. Yeah. He'll be annoyed that that's not dropped. He's a fraction off, and we're talking fractions, because that yellow is just hanging in the pocket.
Quite a long way out here. We'll get there.
So Trish will have a timer who's got access to the screen. We'll just help her along a little bit. This is really harking back to her snooker days. This when she was.
Yeah, there'd have been plenty of this.
Yeah. This is really in Trish's wheelhouse.
Keep coming a little more. Stop. And then away towards away from you, yeah. Just slightly.
It's Rob Wilkinson on timing duty. I can tell those dulcet Geordie tones are anywhere.
This way. Towards us.
There you go. Spot on, Rob. Well done, team. Excellent work. And we can move on.
Yeah, no issues whatsoever. And
would have been some fun and games if you'd have kissed the red, mind.
yeah, there would have been a lot going on there. We might have gone to break and taken a little bit of time there.
Yeah, but no harm, no foul in the end. Jaden Billingham then to the table. Yeah. Again, from Stevie's perspective, he'll just be so annoyed that he's missed that yellow. Required just a fraction more. Is Jaden going to look combo? He is. He's going to go game.
Gone a little bit high at the table. I'm pretty sure that red doesn't pass to right centre. He must have been playing on the red to top right there, surely. And if that's the case, he's significantly overhit it.
Yeah, that was nothing for long there, wasn't it? He could have been a long way short and still been on it.
Unless he's just playing combo, but I can't believe that was the plan, because that red would slide in off the yellow, the red that he's looking at, that he could play another combo bottom right, and the yellow's not as in the pocket. So I can only assume he was playing for that red top right, and he's got it wrong.
Well, we just heard Carl Sutton talk about how different this table played compared to the others. It might just be a little bit of adaptation needed for Jaden, but that chance is going to go begging. And he's not really had second prize. These yellows are all there for Stevie just to let that loose pot out of his mind, really.
Strangely, even though there's a ball less on the table, this is trickier than it was with his original chance now. Yes, it's there for him, but a little bit of pressure just simply because of the way the opening of this match has gone.
In an ideal world, I'm almost certain the yellow over the left centre will be his ball for the 8-ball. But he's got to play a couple of really good shots to get there.
I don't think it will be now. I think he has to go left centre and get back, because the angle he's on now, unless he can pull it back without hitting the 8-ball.
Basically be straight on the yellow to the bottom right.
If he pulls this back now, I mean, I think you can get enough on. You could pinch the pocket perhaps to get the middle of the table, but yeah, if he goes left centre and pulls it back to the same angle, then he can come across and take 8-ball top right or top left. Yeah, there's enough angle there. I like playing top left. It just feels more open pocket. Yeah, Stevie's going the same way.
Oh, top right, you mean?
Sorry, top right, yeah.
Long day for all of us, don't worry.
Yeah. In fact, he's hit it so good he's going to go right centre.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
Well, those players like Stevie play on such clever lines that they do have that margin. I'll be factored in. It's a slightly tricky pot because he's right on the rail, but with the new Rasen Apollo, you've got a little bit more cue ball to aim at. And that was never going to be an issue for Stevie D. It's one each after two pretty interesting opening frames between these two.
Yeah, very intriguing opening jousting between the two players. I think you've got to say, Jaden, strangely, obviously, he should have lost the opening frame and probably should have won the second frame, but 1-1 is, both players are up and running and in now.
Take a look around the grounds, and goodness me. Well, Tom Cousins picking up where he left off earlier. This action is available for you now over on the Ultimate Pool YouTube channel, where you can join Nick Finn and Zach Cooper talking you through this one. If you want to watch this between Tom Cousins and Eddie Barker, good to see the mood that Tom Cousins has turned up in so far today. He has played, work it out, 14 frames. He's dropped one, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, the number one.
Sort of understand it against Andy, because we know sort of, we love Andy, but he's having a bit of a tough time, and Tom took advantage, played great. But Eddie's won a match.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's obviously playing well.
Yeah, it was definitely. It's a strange thing to say, but there was a question mark over Tom Cousins coming into the tournament because of going poorly in the Champions League and poorly in the British Open. But he is still the number one player.
You might have had a question mark over him. I certainly didn't.
very, very small question mark. But
Yeah.
I thought his interview with you earlier on was fascinating. You know, saying that, you know, obviously marking this down as another new step for Ultimate Pool and an era for English pool, and it's like, no, he really wants to be the number one player. You know, it means more again now. You know, adding more to it.
Yeah, I think historically a lot of players, haven't been too bothered about being, inverted commas, the number one, because, in previous eras there's been so many codes, there's been so many number ones, it meant less. But I think in the direction that Ultimate Pool are taking the game, I mean, you can 100% say that Tom Cousins is the world number one in English 8-ball pool.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I do understand some players that say it doesn't really matter, and I think the sort of numbers you need to look out for is, you want to be in the top 2, then you want to be in the top 4, then you want to be in the top 8 and 16 and 32, because it's kind of like that's how the seedings work. So that, we heard Shane Thompson on Monday night saying he's not bothered about the ranking, he's been number one, but I promise you he is bothered that he's not in the top 16.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, but he also isn't going to tell us that, because that would make him.
Of course
look,
not.
That'd make him look like he was afraid of other players. But yeah, I completely understand it.
Well, if
I think it's a bit of both, because every player wants trophies first, but for Tom Cousins, he's that high up in the rankings. If he wins trophies, the ranking will take care of itself. It's sort of it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. Like it will just happen for him if he continues to play the way he is.
We'll come back to this in a minute, so I want to ask you a question, but this is a big shot for Jaden.
He's played beautifully.
That's
Played
beautiful.
beautifully.
And he's on the one to the bottom with a beautiful angle.
That's gorgeous.
Really is. I'll wait for him to finish the frame. I'm going to ask you a question on Tom.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Wait with bated breath. Yeah, it just comes round 2 to just even widen the angle. Really, really excited to see how Jaden does this year. One of the players that I was most keen to see this year in the Ultimate Pool Pro Series. Having come up from the Challengers, won a Challenger Series title, just 17 years of age. Some talent, but naturally being 17, there's going to be peaks and troughs, there's going to be ups and downs and all the rest of it, but yeah, it just looks like such a brilliant player. All right then, Simon, what's your Tom Cousins query?
Obviously, Tom's dominated.
Let's check on him while we
let's do that. So Tom's dominated Ultimate Pool for the last 2 years, and dominated's the right word. It's been incredible what he's done. 11 titles in 2 seasons, essentially. What is a good year, number of titles wise, or just in general for Tom Cousins on Ultimate Pool?
The reason why we're not looking at his game, by the way, is because I can tell you the balls are currently being racked, so no action to show you. But there he is. Look, he's about to break off his top cat, and he's 6-0 up on Eddie Barker. Relentless. So we've got 10 Pro Series titles. We've got. Goodness me, that break. Oh, he looks.
It's
good,
about
doesn't he?
16, 17 tournaments, I think, throughout the year.
I think. I'm not saying he'll be unhappy. As you see the break off from Stevie, which was very good. It's Jaden rather, who's on the. Sat in the wrong chair currently, but that's him, and he's broken off well. But it's Stevie at the table. Stevie at the table.
Yeah, you never answered the question. Come on.
Yeah, so I think. I'm not saying he'll be disappointed if he doesn't, but I think he'll set a target of winning. He'll tell us he sets a target of winning 1. I think he sets a target of winning multiple. What that multiple is, I think may change on how the year goes and form and how things are going and all the rest of it. But I think he seeks to win multiple events a year.
Yeah,
And that could be as low as 2, but winning 2 events is still a fantastic season.
Winning 2 events is a fantastic season. It really is. Tom's on record as saying winning one is is still the goal. Winning one's a good season, and it is. But when you're Tom Cousins and you're number one, I think you're right. I think it's going to be multiple. I don't think he has a sort of number in mind. I just think he knows that if he turns up and plays his best, he's going to win enough. Just law of averages. He's going to walk away with 2, maybe 3. He also, and I think because the way he feels, he's prepared. When he prepares right, is that he can have a British Open and not worry about it. He lost at the last 64 at the British Open, and he can just go, do you know what, that happens. Opponent played well, we move on. And it
wasn't actually the case in the British Open, but yes, I take your point. Yeah, it was. He wasn't quite at the race at the British Open, and he knew why. He was having issues with his tip at the time, and knew going into it. I think that he was maybe not sort of expected to fly at that event, but I got the energy off him earlier in a very calm and very Tom Cousins way, very understated and quietly spoken. I got a real quiet confidence off him earlier.
He looks sharp.
I mean, you can see how sharp he looks. He looks the absolute top cat's whiskers out there at the minute, and that record just keeps on climbing. By the way, he's played a total of 15 frames now, and he's won 14 of them.
That will work.
Yeah, it'll do, won't it? Meanwhile, I have to say, this has been a lovely finish.
Fantastic out. Obviously he's got 2 shots to play, but if he lands straight, he just leaves an awkward 8 ball. If he lands thin, he's just played that to absolutely ball in hand perfection. And that really is a lovely shot.
Sure.
He's fine. He's fine. Don't worry.
A second time he's nearly done that. Jaden, I think, was halfway out of his chair.
Yeah, he already had one of those in the match.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know if yet we'll get the chance to speak to Stevie after this match. Time will tell if he wins or not, but it'd be interesting to know if he's maybe used to the table playing a fraction quicker.
I don't know.
Well, maybe it's running a millimetre slow on him.
Yeah. Talking about people, you were mentioning people that were flying earlier on. When our last match, as we see 7-0, when our last match was finishing, almost at exactly the same time, Darryl Whitworth was beating Phil Harrison. Darryl Whitworth, because that match had gone on a long time, had to go immediately straight back on, and he has already lost 8-1 to Christy Caulfield. And that match basically essentially started at the same time as our match has started, and we're at 2-2, and he won 8-1. That's incredible.
Christy's a freak.
Yeah.
He's such a
he doesn't get talked about in the quickest players on the tour, but he should do.
No,
he's right up there.
Yeah, him and Carl O'Donoghue had a hill earlier, which I'd have paid to watch that.
Yeah.
2 brilliant players who played full the right way. I love watching Christy play. And in full flight, you mentioned it at the start of the show, at full flight, Christy Caulfield is a player who can win a Pro Series.
Yeah, and he
can put it together, and an in-form Christy Caulfield is so dangerous. He can blow anyone away, and I include Tom Cousins in that. He's magic. It's just about chaining it.
Well, he's already into the last 16, which will be played tonight. I think he plays at 7:15. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the time he plays Shane Thompson, who's beaten Oli Bale 8-3.
That's a great match.
Yeah. It is. And the top seed from that section was eliminated by Oli, Sean Story.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I last caught up on that match when Sean was ahead, and I just sort of
was ahead
wrongly assumed that he won through in that in the end.
Yeah, we'll run through a few scores while Jaden works out what he's doing. Tom Cousins obviously 7-0. He'll play the winner of Sean Ash and Carl Cope. Currently Sean Ash, who's having a great day, 6-5 in front. Ian Ali has beaten Ryan Pisani 8-3. He'll play Luke Gilbert, who beat Dylan Leary 8-1.
That's a great result.
Talked about Shane beating Oli and Christy beating Darryl. They'll play each other. Carl Sutton is waiting for the winner of Liam White and John McAllister. They're at 2-2. Craig Waddingham already safely through. He plays the winner of Clayton Castaldi and Josh Kane. They're 3-3.
Quick performances. That 8-2 win for Craig Waddingham over Neil Rayburn's pretty speedy.
Yeah, very speedy. And Aaron Davies is 7-5 up over Luke McAvoy. And he'll play the winner of Jez Graham and Zach Shepherd, who are yet to start, and obviously then we're there to our game, and then there's a few more games still to go on at the bottom there. So that's the sort of top 2/3 of the draw, if you like.
Lovely shot, Jaden. Very good. He's actually a little unlucky. He might have to go into these yellows again. He's unlucky and lucky in the same stroke, but I think if he takes the yellow closest to the triangle line, just the right of it, he's got a natural line just to go into the 2 yellows. But he just has to judge this well, because he probably needs to be on one of them. I'll say a fraction unlucky with that. Well, he's going without it, so must go independently. And he got so much grip into that shot. Really ripped the cue ball back across the table.
Yeah, he's caused himself an issue though.
I must think it goes independently of the other, but it doesn't look like it from our camera angles. But
No.
it has to. He wouldn't have played it if it didn't.
It doesn't look like it to me. No, he's moving into it, playing it with rakes aside, and that's okay. When you play the shot the way he did, he's happy with this. I know it looks slightly awkward, but he's happy. He's got the angle off the right way. You know, it's a comfortable enough pot to the top left with a good angle. Doesn't have to do too much. Just ideally, don't leave it straight. Oh, it's a poor one. He's such a clean, fabulous potter of the ball. I did not see that coming.
Were you not a little bit surprised to see him not use the obvious line from that yellow to bottom right to just fall into the 2, and you're almost guaranteed to be? You feel like you're guaranteed to be on one of them, bottom left or right.
Yeah, I think so.
It's easy. It's so easy to save in this position, but because he's obviously thinking, "Oh, I know I can get these 2. My biggest problem is actually that yellow on the right-hand side." Is obviously how he's identified it. So yeah, very easy to be wise after the event, but
that's why I make a living in the commentary box, Stephen.
Well,
for that exact reason.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, the only wisdom in this box comes after the event, sometimes before, and when we get lucky.
Yeah. We ignore the ones where we don't. Slightly tricky counter for Stevie, but one he should get here. Just has to mind his work in a couple of spots.
Yes,
I'm in.
It's similar to Jaden. Just it almost ignores an obvious cannon that he had to land on this awkward red.
I'm surprised he didn't play that cannon, because if he plays the cannon off the one on the top cushion, then he could stick behind and actually have no shot. So is it a similar situation where he feels he can get on one of those 2, or he's happy to leave it and maybe take it down the table? And he's left the angle to play the cannon.
Yeah, but again, like Jaden, he could land underneath this, and you got a fairly comfy red to bottom right. Just depends on how he sees it, really.
You want to hit the gap. If he does play the cannon and you hit the left-hand red as we look, that's where you could get into trouble. But if you hit the gap of the 2, you're perfect. Gap of the 2 with not much pace. Well, he's not playing the one on the top cushion. So, yeah, so he does feel like one goes. That's why he's gone this way around.
And always revealed.
Yeah, there's always a reason.
We'll be back with you after this game, by the way. We're going to take a break after it. Back with you at 6 o'clock for all the matches from the last 16. You'll see that either here on Ultimate Pool TV or on YouTube. All the last 16 matches live for you from the Pro Series.
Half a mistake here from Stevie. Being on the cushion means he's not going to get great on the 8 ball. Now, it shouldn't cause an issue because you could float this in and leave the cue ball middle of the break line and you should make that 8 ball, but it's one that can be missed.
Say that the player of Stevie's level would be blown away if this fell by the wayside. He's a player who sort of really turns up in those big moments. He's a clutch player. You never doubt him for shots like that.
Yeah, you don't. He's so good.
Speaking of so good.
Well, we join him as he goes wrong. He's in trouble here.
Yeah, I'll wait and see how long that lasts.
I mean, it's easier at 7-0 up. This is tough.
Yeah. Yeah, really tough. What a shot that is. The guy's a joke. Well, it's good to see where Tom Cousins is. Top Cat is seeing sounds at the Pro Series. He is going to demolish a very, very good Eddie Barker. And Eddie Barker, who won through earlier on this morning. 8-0. He has played 17 frames in this tournament so far. He has dropped one of them. That is ominous.
Yes. It really is. That's a brilliant start. One more match left for Tom today. He'll take on the winner of Carl Cope and Sean Ash. And currently 7-6 to Sean. But they'll be on at 6 o'clock. So it's only about an hour and 45 minutes for Tom to be back on. And that could well be the match that we focus on here on the main table at 6 o'clock as well. But yeah, the number one player is looking very good. That break from Jaden was very good, but look at the layout. It's a mess at the top of the table.
Oh, Jaden, that's a big error. It's a big error. I bet you can't believe he's ended up there.
I've watched it twice and I can't believe he's ended up there.
Such a...
He wants a little feather on the 8 ball just to give it a touch of separation.
Yeah.
And he's on the yellow on the top left then, and then he's actually in really, really good shape. The difference by not flicking the 8 ball and going in off is, I'm convinced he gets out if he gets the cannon right.
Frame loser to frame winner.
Stevie still has to play a shot. Those two reds are awkward together with the 8 ball. So,
here's a question for you, Si.
okay.
If you clear the lowest red on the table, those two reds next to the 8 ball are plants.
No, I actually think the bottom one of the two goes left centre in hindsight. Just almost where he is now.
Well, that answers the question. Yeah, this answers that question. Makes it look pretty daft, actually, because it sailed in.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it means I was right with my second statement. This is the key to commentating. Is I originally said that I thought they were going to be awkward, and then second time said that it goes. So I was right. I was also wrong.
Yeah, you want to...
Yeah.
I believe that's what the pro gamblers call hedging. Got to hedge. See, I'm an all or nothing man. And my all or nothing gut tells me Stevie Dempsey's going 4-2 in front. It's a real quality to have, is the level of grit that Stevie holds. He is such a tough player to beat. It seems to be, the brighter the lights shine, the more that kicks in. I'm really going to scrape him off the table. So good in the clutch. And I don't care how well Tom Cousins is playing, how well Craig Waddingham, Carl Sutton, any other player we've seen play brilliantly already today, even Jaden Billingham. Sometimes, for as well as you're playing, Stevie Dempsey can make it come unstuck. Such a tough opponent. 6 frames played, 4 of them have gone the way of Stevie D, the hammer. And he's off to a very, very fine start here in Wigan. He's been over in the UK a little while now. Stevie D came over slightly earlier in the week and took in the Merseyside derby, I can tell you. He got himself over to Anfield on Wednesday night. Big red is Stevie. He'll have enjoyed that.
You enjoyed mentioning it as well, Stephen.
Slightly. As we take a look at Liam White here. He's got John McAllister. Had a quick chat with Liam earlier. Wished him good luck in his Next Gen Series match. to which he gave me a dig in the ribs, and I thought that was fair enough. But he's not helped himself by having to stretch full length of the table for that one. But he's done well. That used to be easy, didn't it, Liam? But he's doing fine here. He's got a really tough match in John McAllister, but he looks like he's going well in it. Played well in his first match. Did Liam White to win through.
Oh, the hammer.
That's brutal. And what a leave as well. Only consolation for him is there is a hint of work. But this is a tough, tough leave. That break's pretty good. It's sort of heading towards the corner pocket, but it's never in. And then... Cheers.
Was it dry anyway? I think it was.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know how it was dry, but it was.
It does sort of soften the blow, but only a fraction, to be honest with you. Very good from Jaden working through this finish. I think he'd like to have been potentially on the one at the bottom here. But big shot required because the red is blocking so well. Not sure the angle he's got. That's very, very classy. That really is.
Yeah, wasn't it just? He's got a lovely vision for the game, does Jaden, doesn't he? And he's not afraid to give himself difficult, pretty high tariff shots. And he does see it very well, and he does execute it very well. That is a classy out. Right word you used a moment ago there, Si. I'm going to steal it to reiterate the points for Jaden Billingham. 4-3.
Yeah, 4-3, edging back into this one, just the one in it. Deciding frame going on between Carl Cope, another one of the youngsters coming through. He's taking on Sean Ash. They're 7-7 currently. Winner will have the prize of playing Tom Cousins at 6 o'clock. Stevie Dempsey, for those wondering, he'll play the winner of John Rowe and Rob Chambers, who will be going on shortly. Declan Brennan will be taking on Andrew Patchett over on our YouTube table fairly shortly as well. Well, Stevie got a terrible kick on his break. Jaden's not so bad. Has an opportunity. I think if he wants to go, he's forced to go yellows. I don't believe he's got a red. He was eyeing up, you saw him straight away eyeing up the plant to top right. Yellow, yellow, and you've got to somehow get above the yellow, above the 8 ball. But now he's had a quick look at whether he can get to the yellow to right centre, because he's got angle here, so he's going to be drifting high up the table. Another brilliant visit to the table from Jaden. His patterns are brilliant. I love watching him play. Just the way he works it out. Analysed the problem. You saw immediately walked to the table, looked at the plant, then he looked at right centre, then he just worked it out. He figured out the way to go about it, got above it, and then just made it easy. It really is, as you said, Jamo, very, very classy.
Yep, agreed, Webby. He is top draw. And the bullet is biting back. And we're level again in the Pro Series.
To have a look at the McAllister versus White match. John's back in front, 4-3, and at the table looking at 5-3, but 8 ball's a problem at the bottom of the table. John was excellent earlier on, coming through pretty comfortably in his first match. Looked very, very sharp. And looks like he could be a very big force for the tournament as well. Only had a couple of pro titles last season. Back to our match, which is ebbing and flowing. Now 4-4. 16:48 to go. Both players need 4. Oh, it's going to happen to Stevie again. At 4-2, kicked in off, was cleared up. Then the break clearance, and now he's been kicked in off again. And this layout is even better. The way that Jaden goes about the game, it will be a major surprise to not see him mop these up.
Yeah, absolutely it would. I mean, just shows how quickly the game can turn at the top level when you've got 2 players as good as these two. It really can swing on its head in an instant. And I'm with you, so I think it'd be a major surprise to see Jaden not get these. It seems to just link together all nice. It's almost like paint by numbers sort of style. You just work your way from the top of the table to the bottom, and it kind of takes care of itself. Just whether he elects to leave maybe the ball left centre for the 8 ball. He doesn't have to do that at all. He has options. Looks to me the sort of natural connection just goes from top to bottom here.
Yeah, it's just connect it all together, isn't it? You drop in territory. That's what makes him so good with his patterns. Drop in to drop in to drop in. It's all very, very natural.
Although, is he short here?
No, he's fine. He's dropping in left centre. The only thing he wants to make sure it's not necessarily just a drop in, because he wants to pull it back to have the angle to then roll through. If he just dropped it in, he might have that 3/4 ball angle and then could end up above the yellows. That's why he took the extra time, just to make sure.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. I saw a good camera angle there, which showed the angle he's got on this shot, which is key for the frame. Yeah, ball in hand perfect. Which is low on the red, and it's all there for him. Well, 4-2 down, 5-4 up. Jaden Billingham screams 3 in a row. And Stevie Dempsey has not even sniffed the table. 2 breaks of Stevie's in that 3-frame salvo as well. 2 of them have come against the head from Jaden.
Well, I think what might have happened here is that Stevie Dempsey got the memo that it's Jaden's birthday, so there's a couple of little gifts for him there with a kick-in-offs.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it's Jaden's birthday today, 18 today.
Wowee.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Jaden.
Unbelievable. And knowing how much of this game he plays, I'm sure this is actually the best way he could possibly spend his 18th birthday. To be able to legally buy your first pint off Aidan Mevlick at the Ultimate Pool Bar is an unbelievable honour. But I'm sure he'll be thinking, if all goes well, he may not have himself an 18th birthday drink.
Well, yeah, if he gets through this match and one more and have a quarter-final to prepare for tomorrow lunchtime. It's the Jaden show right now. He's getting all the chances, although this one's not one he wants to take on.
Well, he needed anything, Stevie Dempsey. He needed just something. But whether this is what he had in mind, I'm not sure. He has no choice but to just deal with it, though. Hammer calls his extension to think it through. I do wonder if he's thinking about it. I'd be surprised. The only reason I say that is this match is still very close, and Stevie Dempsey unquestionably, probably, has a tactical advantage in these sorts of frames.
I was thinking exactly that.
But unquestionably has an advantage on a 15-second shot clock.
Yeah, I really does.
He manages clock better than just about anybody, let alone a man who's, well, I say a man, a boy, who's barely had an opportunity to learn that yet. So that is unquestionably an advantage for Stevie. But even this is probably an advantage for him, just this type of frame. So I think it's no surprise to see Jaden go for these. I don't think Stevie's too upset about it.
Oh, he wants him to go for them. That's the thing. He's doing exactly what Stevie wants him to do here.
The last time that happened, of course, Jaden rifled an 8-ball off,
Yeah.
off 2 cushions into the corner pocket.
Yeah, that shot still feels big in the context of this match, and it was, well, half an hour ago. He's not going to keep going, though. This is one of the things that impresses me about Jaden. Obviously, the way he goes and the way he's played over the last few years is that it's not all gung-ho. He has a good tactical brain about him. He will pull back. Hasn't fallen for the trap that Stevie set. He was being positive, but didn't get the angle he wanted. Pulls back and lives to fight another day.
Well, with this in mind, which colour set would you rather be right now? Or is it simply a case of you'd rather just be out the table?
Well, this is a tricky one because...
Oh, that was nearly a brilliant shot.
Oh, he's been lucky. He's been lucky with that cue ball staying on the table. The red and yellow together on the top right are both really awkward for both sets because there isn't a great ball to deal with it. I think it's probably marginally easier to deal with on yellows than reds, but it's really tough whichever way you go.
How about the vision there from Stevie D? If he'd have executed that, that'd have been up there for, well, one of the shots of the day. In a very different sense, of course, but that was some brilliant vision. And as an example, it's the sort of vision that Jaden just didn't see, otherwise he would never have played that shot. But he's going here, I think. You wouldn't pot a ball unless you're going.
How does he deal with the red and yellow, though? I'm not seeing that. It's.
I think. Is he looking at using the top rail to screw
but from which ball?
Well, it's a good question.
So he's moving a ball to try and get an angle to move a ball. I mean, this is really tough. If he gets above it, can he lay a snooker that could work for him? Maybe.
What's he got for us?
No, it's just full-blooded, trying to create something. I mean, that's how tough it was. He was having to move a ball to then create an angle to then go into it. That just wasn't on, and Stevie's not going to. I mean, this is the beauty. I mean, a lot of players, with what happened in the opening frame, might be like, well, I'm just going to go. I'm going to work this out myself. Stevie knows he played the right percentage play in the opening frame, and obviously it didn't work out for him. But he's still going to play the right percentage play. He's still going to do the right thing.
Yeah, it's a really clever shot. That's very deliberate. He wants to give Jaden sight of this red. He wants Jaden to move this red.
Do you think there's a gap? I don't think there is. I think he has to fire into it. Yeah, he is top. It's a similar sort of shot, but it can't go anywhere this time.
Yeah.
Well, it can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably landed about as well as it could.
And it has opened everything up.
Doing a lot of that in this match, just really dying them into pockets.
That's fine. It looks short, but he can use the top cushion, side cushion, top cushion here and get in line. Probably deliberately played low to make sure he could have that because it travels down the line so nicely.
Well, you'd have to make Stevie favourite going into the last 8 or so minutes of this match, and it's pure experience. Pure experience, that's all that is.
While they're racking the balls up, I can tell you we have a result in the Carl Cope-Sean Ash match, and that's of note simply because of the winner has to play Tom Cousins, who's dropped just 1 frame and 116 so far. And it was Carl Cope that came from 7-6 down to win it 8-7. So Sean Ash is eliminated. Good day for Sean, but ultimately coming up short in the last 32. Would have been a really good day. 'Cause, I mean, it's not a problem ball, but it's just going to be away from the rest of your work. But you know, it's absolutely fine.
"15-second shot clock, very much a factor in this match now."
Yeah, 15 seconds, I think, played a little bit there. Just simply, it just takes that little bit of consideration away. It's not certain to get out here until he gets nicely on that red, on the cushion. And you ideally want to leave a good ball off the back of it as well. One of those 2 reds into the centre would be nice. Oh, he's left himself hampered. He's playing across for the one on the cushion now, I believe.
Has he got a little angle to go into it here?
No, too much.
Yeah.
And if he goes past the straight, it's awkward. He might have to play into it this time. If he gets the top side of it, he's fine. But if he gets the double kiss, he's absolutely in trouble. Oh, he was okay. He could slide by it.
See the spin that he played on the cue ball there. That was nice.
Yeah, hits the cushion and it spins away from the ball just to create a little bit more separation to make this pot even easier. Good news is he doesn't have to do much with it. Straight's no good. It's alright. Oh, is he? Yeah, he's got enough, I think, here. I actually wasn't expecting him to bring the cue ball as far across as that.
Yeah, Fizz did, didn't he? It's a thinnish cut, but I think it's one he's happy enough with.
Yeah, when you see it from the overhead, you realise actually it's a lot easier than it first looked from the main. And it's a brilliant finish.
Yeah, excellent from Stevie. Really, really good. 6-5 he leads. He's 2 from home, 5.5 minutes to play. And it's interesting, going to races to 8 while the match clock stays the same. It's just that little interesting dynamic, isn't it? Because all of a sudden, we've not really heard from match clocks in a Pro Series sense for what feels like the best part of a year, because everyone's sort of wised up. Don't really see many going to the clock, but you will do today.
Yeah, it sounds like a small change, but it is significant. You know, it really has. You know, we've seen, you know, a number of matches, you know, have different outcomes because of the race to 8/7, but the time that's added, the freedom it allows, you know, you feel very different about being, say, 5-2 down in a race to 8 and you do a race to 7. And obviously in a match clock era, it makes a massive difference.
Well, it potentially adds 2 frames as well, because, you know, it sounds like 1 frame, race to 7 versus race to 8. But essentially best of 13 and best of 15. It's 2 frame difference, really.
Yeah, it's 2 frame difference, yeah. But it feels more.
It's a wicked break from Jaden Billingham.
How about that?
Couldn't wish for a nicer break, really.
And it's another layout that, I mean, it's just a case of, you know, holding your nerve here, because this is, you don't even have to have a great pattern here. It's just a great layout. This great layout. This shot just needs to be played well. Yeah, you could just avoid the yellow. So he was fine. For a second I thought he had a touch too much angle, and then if you start playing around with those yellows, there's nothing goes up the table from where he'd land. So that was good. And now it's almost, well, I'm going to go one step further. It is unmissable from here for a player at Jaden's level. I also like the pace he's playing at, because this is off his break. I like getting this done quick. And the reason being, if you did it slowly and left 3 minutes, and let's say Stevie then made a 2-minute break clearance, then you're under pressure. Whereas he's done this quick enough that even if Stevie makes a quick break clearance, you have time to respond.
He's some player, this kid. He really is some player. 4-14, 6-all. Hanging tough with one of the best players in the business. At the crunch end of an Arena 1 match, your first proper pro series. Whatever happens with the result here, Stevie Dempsey's already built enough credit. His reputation doesn't go up for me because it's already top. But I tell you what, Jaden Billingham's reputation just continues to burgeon as we see my friend John Rowe at the table looking customarily miserable, as is the John Rowe way.
Yeah, currently winning though, but only in the second frame.
Yeah, I'm assuming he looks miserable because he's on reds. If he's on yellows, I'm not buying it. Then Rob Chambers is the ringer. I have a suspicion he might be on yellows because I think he's lining the line on the right side of the table. If he's on yellows and is making this much fuss about looking miserable, there's no way.
He can't be. There's no way he can't be.
I'll get our producer to keep an eye on this. Can you tell me which colour he pots, please, Mr. Producer Man?
Yeah, he's reds.
Okay. So he sort of had a justification for looking as grumpy as that. Anyway, back to the main action. Stevie Dempsey breaks off. Remember, race to 8. This isn't the decider.
Oh.
He has a ball.
He actually has an out here. This initial reaction is, oh, this is tough. He's got yellow and red together, top left, that look really awkward. But if they're a plant that he can manufacture a 3-ball plant in, then the table's all wide open on reds. Now the 3-ball plant will be available, potentially second shot. He might have to leave an angle to go into it because it might be set to the jaw, but it's not as bad as it first looked to me. And he has left an angle to play the cannon here, so he's not playing the 3-ball, it's fine. If he can get to the top cushion and go into the yellow, it would be better than playing it direct.
Yeah, it doesn't want to go full ball here, particularly. Oh no, that's perfect. That's lovely. So a little worried he'd stick to the red if you got further over, but he's okay. He's come out lovely. I'm assuming these reds pass independently, the other to the bottom right.
Yeah, and the 8-ball does go bottom left. Even if it doesn't, there's a control cannon there because the red passes the red. And he comes down for the bottom one anyway, so maybe that wasn't the case, and that's fine. It does look like they go independently, but comes all the way down.
Yeah, can go left centre, bottom left if he wants from here. Has he come far enough? Has he come far enough? He wanted to be pretty straight.
Yeah, I think he is. He'll be slightly worried about sliding off the yellow, in which he's pulling it back, so he is slightly worried about sliding behind the yellow. So pulls it back to make sure and hits the gap.
Yeah, he's hit a good gap there. That wasn't a huge amount of margin for error. 2 minutes remaining. And he's using every second of the clock here. And in it rolls. 2 minutes exactly remaining. Stevie Dempsey goes 7-6 in front. It feels like it will either be Stevie Dempsey winning or it will be a 6-red shootout at this stage. It's a big frame to win.
Two finishes in a minute apiece would change that, but that's so rare.
And remember, it has to be finishes. Golden break not in play on the Pro Series. We take a look over at Declan Brennan, who's taking on Andrew Patchett. I saw Declan earlier on the stream, and in his own words, he was very, very below par. Really struggled with the conditions out there, never settled, and played some frankly some weirdly poor stuff for a player of Declan's absolutely elite level. But looks like he's sort of recovered a touch, sharpened up. Opportunity to go forward up on the dangerous Andrew Patchett, who took out Tom Jones in the first round. So break off for Jaden Billingham, and he's not going to get a ball, and that may well
It should be
that.
It should be. The table's so messy that I just think this should be over.
Right.
Stevie,
Manna from heaven for Stevie, this, isn't it?
yeah, Stevie will not take on a finish here. I would be tempted to play the red over the pocket, though, take reds and then play safe, just because you don't want that ball over the pocket to give Jaden the ability to do something very creative. So I kind of like just playing the red. Or do you pot the 3 or 4 open balls? Probably. Yeah, I was thinking about playing that and then playing safe, maybe nudging them all even worse, but he's got enough open, and we're only just over a minute.
There's no one I trust in this situation more than the hammer. He'll have done the calculations, he'll have worked it out. So playing safe it is.
He decided not to continue potting.
I think that's because he'll have worked out that he couldn't pot enough balls to keep Jaden off the table with like 30 seconds. And by that point, reds and yellows might look a little different.
I think he could have just left the cluster of 4 together with the 8 ball and not worried. I think he could have potted 4, but maybe he felt he was just too thin on the one he was on and felt that the safety was the right way. Puts another yellow into the mix. That's by design.
Yeah, it's very clever. Jaden's going to have a swing at these. You just sort of have to, really. And it's not really going to come out for him. Just going to run out of time is Jaden Billingham, and he's going to shake the hand of the hammer. What a brilliant matchup that was. Excellent performance from Stevie Dempsey, but Jaden Billingham has really showed us that he is here to stay on the Pro Series side.